Okay. Let's talk about parallel lines for a second before I get into the lesson. So we've been talking about if two lines cut by a transversal. Need a visual? You're not. You're not writing. If two lines are cut by a transversal, change my color up, cut by a transversal, are parallel. We've got two, I could have said that better. If two parallel lines, it's the same thing, but which one's better to say? If two parallel lines, okay, let's do that. I like it better. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then what do we know? Then what? Then I have supplementary angles. Where? How? Why? Start talking about angles. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then what do I know about some angles? Let's hear one of them. Alex.
You get corresponding.
Corresponding angles are what?
Congruent.
Are congruent. Good. Let's label this and tell me what the corresponding angles are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Give me some corresponding angles. Let's hear it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. 2 and 6. 2 and 6. Yep. Angle 2 and angle 6. There's more, but we're going to keep going. Something else. What else do I know? Oh, wait. Tyler? Same. What about same side interior? Same side interior are supplementary. Supplementary. Give me an example of same side interior. 4 and 6. Angle 4 and angle 6. 4 and 6. Check this out, guys. Isn't this kind of like if I were to continue these lines right here? I'm going to use green. And think about it. Look at it. Not a very good one. Isn't that a parallelogram? How many degrees are inside of a parallelogram? There's 360 degrees inside of any four-sided figure. Okay? There's 360 degrees inside of that shape right there. No matter what. We'll talk about that later, but there's 360 degrees no matter what angles there are. You add them up and you're going to get 360. That means half of those angles would be what? 180. Doesn't that look like the inside of the box? So that's 180 degrees right there. If what? If and only if what? The lines are parallel. Because here's another box. Check this box out. Well, it's not a box, but the box is right here. Check out my box. See? See that? Now, do you guys see that these are same side interior angles and these are same side interior angles, but I would guess that this side is going to be less than 180 and this side is going to be more than 180, right? Yeah. Of my box? Because this one is bigger than this side. And what makes my same side interior angles not supplementary? The fact that the lines aren't parallel. I think that's really important to talk about. That's why we talked about it. Okay. There's some light bulbs going on? Let's finish. Our summary. What else can you tell me? One, another person. Let's hear it. Alternate. Alternate interior angles are what? Are congruent. Give me some alternate interior angles. 3 and 6. Angle 3 and 6. Good. Angle 3 and angle 6. 5 and 4 also. Okay. This is what we did yesterday and the day before. Today we're going to reverse it. So what do I mean by reversing it? I'm going to do it backwards. Let's do it backwards. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then corresponding angles are congruent. How would I do that backwards? If corresponding angles are congruent, then what? Then two lines cut by a transversal are parallel. You see how that's backwards? Let's do another one. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then same side interior are supplementary. Do that one backwards. Then it's said a little bit differently. If two same side interior angles are supplementary, then two lines cut by a transversal are parallel. You're just going backwards. Okay, let's work with that. That's what all this says. And I don't like this at all. I used this last period. Uh-oh. Change that. Alright, we're not going to look at that right now. Let's drag and drop. Okay, so you form the converse of and if and then. It should be an if and then statement by this. If P, then Q, by stopping it. So if a conditional statement is P, then Q, its converse is if Q, then P. All right. How about if Mrs. Mahler was born in 1976, then she's 38 years old? If she was 38 years old, she was born in 1976. You see how those are backwards? You see how that's one of them the converse of the other? Yeah. That's what we're going to do today. Okay? All right, so let's use this. So use two of the given statements together to complete a statement about the diagram using same side interior angles. Okay, by the postulate. If, right here, L and M. If L is parallel, we're going to do it nice and easy in the beginning, and then we're going to make it real wordy at the end. Got it? So if L is parallel with M, then, is this what it says in your book?
What page?
185. That's what I'm asking. So it says measure 6? Angle 6? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so since it says angle 6, let's talk about this again. By the postulate, if L is parallel with M, then angle 6 and angle blank are supplementary. Where's 6? Right here. 6 and what are supplementary? Angle 3. If L and M are parallel, then 6 and 3 are supplementary. True? Let's drag and drop this if and then statement. Which one's the F? Which one's P?
Oh.
No. Where would I put P? What does P go with? If I say if P then Q, which part of this statement is my P?
L parallel to M.
The L parallel to M. If this, then what part's my Q?
Q, that part, 6 and 3.
Okay, Joe, not that part,
Sorry.
right? What part's my Q? Joe.
Angle 6, angle 3.
Thank you. Okay, that was better. If P, then Q. All right, so let's look at the converse. Now write the converse of the same side interior angles postulate using the diagram. Okay, so by its converse, if what? What were we talking about? If angle 6 and 3 are, if angle 6 and
3.
angle 3 are supplementary, then what?
Then
L is parallel to M. Perfect. All right, let's do it for alternate interior angles theorem. By the theorem, if L is parallel with M, then what? Does it say angle 2 in your book? Then angle 2 is congruent with what?
It said 4.
That's what I'm asking. Angle 4. Okay. So then angle 4 is congruent with what? By alternate interior. I hear 2 and I hear 6. I need somebody to stand up for 2.
Stand up.
Who votes for 2?
Who votes for 2?
Who votes for 6? Okay, why 6? Because they're on the interior. Perfect. Right here. These. That would have been a good exercise though, right? So if this one right here, here's the parallel lines, that's what we're concerned with, right? So the interior of the parallel lines, would be 4 and 6. Then 4 is congruent with 6. Let's write the converse. If angle 4 and angle 6 are congruent, then what? Then L is parallel with M. What about corresponding? By the theorem, if L is parallel with M, then what's corresponding with 7?
5.
I hear 3.
3.
Is it say something different here? It's the same? Okay, so 7 is congruent with what? 3. Good job, guys.
3.
All right, let's do the converse. And angle 7 are congruent. Then L is parallel with M. So here's the formal things. If 2 lines are cut by transversal so that a pair of same side interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. All right, let's say that again. If 2 lines are cut by a transversal so that a pair of same side interior angles are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. If 2 lines are cut by a transversal so that any pair of alternate interior angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So we're going to use these formal definitions this time. Here's the last one. Definitions. Theorems. This one's a postulate. This one's a theorem. If 2 lines are cut by a transversal so that any pair of corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. All right, let's use that. Let's see. I don't really like this one. See, then we don't use it very much. Okay. I'll write it down here. So let's start here. Now let's look at the situation. Use the values of the marked angles to show that the two lines are parallel. What's the measure of angle 1? Here's angle 1. I'm going to use this nifty little shape here and match up the angle. 1 is 120. Good. 120. Measure of angle 2 is 120.
What number is this?
This is B. Okay. Relationship between the two angles. They're corresponding. Alright, so if two lines, I should put 120 here, are cut by a transversal, you're not giving us enough room here. So no, that's the conclusion is the then, right? This is the if. If two lines are cut by a transversal, so that what? Corresponding angles, because just being corresponding angles isn't enough, right? We saw that with that other example when they weren't parallel. So that corresponding angles are congruent. Here's my conclusion. Then what? What does that tell me? Then the lines are parallel. Then the lines are parallel. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, what if? So I want you to discuss this and be ready to share. Suppose the designer had been working with this basic shape instead. Do you think the conclusions in parts A and B would have been different? Why or why not? Discuss, and I'm going to call on somebody. Okay, Manny, can you explain to me? Why or why not? First of all, which side are you taking? Do you think that the conclusions of parts A and B would be the same or different?
Different.
Different. Why?
Because whenever top one, whenever it's ready, well, you put the top there, everything is different.
You're right. It is different that way. You're absolutely right. How is it the same? Let's hear it. How do you know? How do you know? I like that. I like he used parallelogram. He said that the shape is parallelogram. That means that these are parallel lines, right? And so are these. I know they're not on there. Right? How do I know they're parallel? I want more. Hold on, hold on, hold on. A hand. I need hand. Let's hear it. Can you explain? 110 plus 70 is 180. And what are the positions of those angles? Let's write it. Let's write it. If two lines are, the two lines are what? No. We're proving parallel. If two lines are what? Cut by a transversal, good. And what happens? What did we just talk about right now? Same side, interior. What about same side, interior? Are supplementary. Good. Supplementary. That's a long if, huh? If two lines are cut by a transversal and same side interior are supplementary, then, oh, my comma should have come after the then, huh?
No. What's before?
Is that right?
Yeah, you were right.
Then, what? Then the two lines must be parallel. Then the two lines must be parallel. It is a lot of writing. You know what? The more you write it, the more you're going to remember it. Explain why the lines are parallel given the angles shown. Do these with your partner, and be ready to share. We're going to ask Derek, see if they were on task. Derek, explain why number 4 is parallel if it is. What do you think? There's only 2 angles there to talk about, 1 and 2. What are 1 and 2? 1 and 2 are parallel? 1 and 2 are alternate interior. I'm not letting you off the hook yet. 1 and 2 are alternate interior. If 1 and 2 are alternate interior, what could I have to investigate about them in order to tell me that those lines are parallel? What do 1 and 2 have to be, the alternate interior angles, what do they have to be in order for those lines to be parallel? Now to turn around. You have 2 options. In order for them to be parallel, they have to either be congruent or supplemental. Which one? Alternate interior angles are congruent or alternate interior angles are supplemental? Supplementary. Okay. Let's investigate. We could use patty paper, right? I got a little bit of patty paper right here. What's the angle of angle 2, Derek? See 2 right there? What's the angle? 120. What's the angle of 1? 120. So alternate interior angles are congruent in order for these lines to be parallel. Okay. What about number 5? How about Daphne? Daphne, number 5. What type of angles are these? Same side interior. Can you tell me what relationship do these same side interior angles have to have in order for the lines to be parallel? They have to be supplementary. Thank you. Same side interior, supplementary. How are we doing, guys? Good? Starting to get it? Fantastic. All right, we're going to pass this up, and I'm going to do one more thing with you today. The constructions. We're going to do constructions tomorrow. Okay, let's use this. So I'm going to use angles to prove the lines are parallel. So measure of angle 4, here's angle 4, is x plus 20. And measure of angle 8 is 2x plus 5. Let's see. How about Madison? Madison, what has to happen between x plus 20 and 2x plus 5 for these lines to be parallel? Out of the 3 angle pairs we've been talking about today, what are 4 and 8? Why are they congruent? Corresponding. They're corresponding angles, right, Manny? And corresponding angles are what, Manny? Corresponding angles are congruent. So congruent angles have the same measure. So how could I find x? Let's hear it. Setting them equal to each other. Right? If they're congruent, then their measures are equal? Okay, so x plus 20, I'm going to do this over here because I don't like all this stuff, equals 2x plus 5. If I subtract x from both sides and subtract 5 from both sides, I get x equals 15. I did that backwards. Yeah, I did it backwards. Okay, this is how we should have done it. I just right now said that I knew they were parallel lines, right? You see what this step says right here? It told me x was 15. Okay, I did it the opposite way. That's what we did yesterday, right? We said we know that they're parallel, therefore they must be equal to each other. Exactly, we just solved it. Fine. We should have put 15 in for x. Let's see what happens when we do that. When I put 15 in for x, I get 15 plus 20 equals 35. And when I put 15 in for x here, I get 30 plus 5 equals 35. Therefore, the angles are congruent, and because they're congruent, we can say the lines are parallel. I don't know why I just did that right now. Got ahead of myself. All right, see if you can work with your partner in the next 2 minutes. See if you can work with your partner to take this statement right here and put it into the full theorem. The if and then statement. Okay? So one, let's write this formally. Who would like to? Alright. I'm going to speak it because I want to get to this last part. Alright, so we have supplementary angles. Supplementary angles match up with same side interior, right? So if a transversal, right? Who wants to speak it? Let's hear it. Matthew. Perfect. If two lines are cut by transversal and the same side interior are supplementary, then the two lines are parallel. Excellent. All right, let's look at this, guys. Essential questions. Michael. I need you guys to get out your blue sheet and name 2 ways to test if a pair of lines are parallel using the interior angles. Give me 1 way you can use interior angles to see if they're parallel. If same side interior are what? Same side interior are supplementary. What's another way? That's not interior angles, though. Just the interior. Alternate interior or what? Congruent. Good job, guys.